leaving Abidjan to take a straight flight from Ivory Coast to Paris and from Paris to Atlanta. When you leave your city to go to a different city within the country, it's a different feeling, right? When you leave your country to go to a different country within the same continent, it's a different feeling. But when you leave your continent to go to a different continent, it's a different feeling. When I graduated from Ivory Coast, I moved to South Africa. And I went to a school called the African Leadership Academy. I left the African Leadership Academy to attend the African American Leadership Academy, which is Morehouse. I can't even describe or explain how I was feeling, because I was on a mission. I really felt like I had a commitment to everyone I left back home. I had a commitment to my community, to my parents, and I had a responsibility to do something where I was going. My success is the success of my community. My failure is the failure of the community. I just can't believe that it's happening now, and this is the first step, and the journey is just starting now.
Welcome all to this historical day for Morehouse College. My name is Michael McGirt, a graduating senior majoring in political science with a minor in economics from Durham, North Carolina. And I have the pleasure of serving as a student trustee and the 90th Student Government Association president. With me today are my fellow men of Morehouse College. Standing behind me are proud campus student leadership. We are honored to be part of this special occasion to affirm to the world that Morehouse College matters. Brothers, do you agree? Yeah. Now, was that video not amazing? Yeah. Morehouse College has enabled me and my fellow brethren to dream big and strive for excellence. The college mission inspires us to lead lives of leadership and service. Together, we stand and commit to the high expectations that come with the distinction of becoming a Morehouse man. At this time, I would like to introduce our Vice President of Institutional Advancement, Ms. Monique Dowser.
Thank you, Michael and men of Morehouse, for that welcomed introduction. I stand here on behalf of the faculty and staff and the entire Morehouse community to say we strive to be worthy of your trust. We feel it is our responsibility to ensure that all financial barriers that hinder your ability to become scholars and men of Morehouse have to be removed. It's been a journey for the past 3 years. Under the leadership of Dr. Thomas and our esteemed board, more than 13,000 stakeholders of alumni, parents, friends, faculty, and staff have invested in this great institution. They stand as a testament that that Morehouse is the #1 institution of higher learning for Black men, and that our graduates are leaders, scholars with transformational lives rooted in service and purpose. I now ask that our chairman of the Board of Trustees and alumnus, Willie Woods, from the class of 1985, come and give remarks before you hear from our illustrious president, Dr. David A. Thomas.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Monique. On behalf of the entire board, we're extremely honored to be part of this historic day for my and our alma mater, dear old Morehouse College. The nurturing and undergirding of the spirit that happens at Morehouse is unlike any other institution of higher learning. As is relevant as it was in 1867, the need for Morehouse today, its supportive environment, specifically designed to educate and empower Black men to take on leadership roles, is as crucial today as it was 155 years ago. The strategic vision is clear. To address the complexities of the 21st century and beyond, we must honor our abiding principles while striking out in bold, new directions. To continue our rich legacy of excellence, we must embrace change with the daring and vision. To carry on our storied history of thinking big, we must push the boundaries. We must reimagine the Morehouse experience while sustaining our unchanging mission to making men of consequence. President Thomas, we, the Board of Trustees, our students, and the entire Morehouse community stand in solidarity and believe you are the right leader to this beloved institution of greater heights. All, please greet our president, David A. Thomas.
Thank you, Chairman Woods, and the entire Morehouse community. This is a moment that I have envisioned almost since the day I stepped on this campus and became even more connected to the idea and the reality that the world needs Morehouse more than it needed it 155 years ago, and what we stand for. It takes a vested village of stakeholders to sustain Morehouse's heritage and future. An institution of higher learning can have a compelling mission, as we do. The best and brightest students, as we do. A first-rate faculty, as we do. Dedicated and caring staff, as we do. And a great board, as we do. But without loyal financial support for the institution, you cannot provide a sustainable, continuing, world-class education. And so I am honored to say Morehouse has it all. And so today, I am proud to publicly announce that Morehouse College is launching a $500 million campaign to preserve our presence as a leader in higher education and support our future for generations to come. I'm also happy to tell you that the confidence with which we approach this task comes from the fact that already we have raised $200 million toward this goal. I'm grateful for the benefactors that have paved our way. Our future is definite, but there is more work to be done. Together, we can ensure Morehouse has sustainable philanthropic resources at scale. I'm also very conscious of the fact that this moment is historic, not only because it represents the largest capital campaign in the history of Morehouse College, but that it stands out as a historic campaign in the context of historically black colleges and universities across the country. Some have asked me about the number, noting that no historically black college has ever attempted and been successful at a campaign of this size. I think the last several months of our nation and the world have shown us that for Morehouse to deliver what the world needs from Morehouse, we must not be hesitant or shy about asking for what we need to sustain that contribution. And we must approach it with the belief that others understand the value of what we bring. And so we move forward with this campaign today, built upon four pillars, four strategic pillars. The first pillar, and perhaps the most important, is to support the rising men of Morehouse. To guarantee that any man admitted to Morehouse, admitted because we think that he has shown in the first 17 to 18 years of his life that he can be one who lives a life of leadership and service, regardless of the vocation that he decides to pursue once he leaves. And that financial affordability will never be the reason why he chooses not to come to Morehouse. In order to attract and retain young men worthy of Morehouse and the Morehouse experience, we've now estimated that we need to grow our endowment to $1.5 billion, up from its current $282 million. A $500 million campaign will not take us there, but I want to share with you my vision about supporting the rising men of Morehouse. I believe that within less than 5 years, we will achieve the remaining $300 million goal. And that from that point to the end of this decade, we should set a goal to move that needle to get to that $1.5 million endowment so that by the end of this decade, Morehouse College will admit students on a need-blind basis. That Morehouse College will never have another David Thomas. It took 50 years to get to Morehouse. My own story is very much wrapped up in this pillar. When I was about 10 years old, I read about Martin Luther King. No one in my college had gone to college. No one in my family had gone to college. My father told me if I went to college, I wouldn't have to do what he did. He was a laborer. So I said, I don't know what college is, but I know I'm going. Martin Luther King went to Morehouse College. I'm going to Morehouse College. Time came to apply to college. I only applied to two. Morehouse College and a college I had barely heard of, but a counselor told me to apply. I got into both. Morehouse didn't give me any scholarship. The other place gave me a full ride. Longing to go to Morehouse, I followed the money. So it took me 50 years to get here. I don't want there to ever be another David Thomas who knows at 18 years old that Morehouse is the place for him to be in the most important season of his life, which were the years between 17 and 23, where one's brain literally changes as they answer the most important questions that will define who they go on to be in the world. Who am I? What can I be? What does the world owe me? What do I owe the world? And the opportunity to come and answer those questions in a place that is the only place on the planet where black male excellence is an expectation and not an exception, the only place that produces black male excellence at scale. We want to ensure that that honor, that privilege is available to all students that we admit, and it will not be deterred by their ability to pay. Scholarships, support services, and academic resources will be provided by the funds raised under this pillar. Our second pillar, great students need great faculty. It is the virtuous circle of attraction that we must invest in. Great students attract great faculty create great graduates who go on to do that which attracts even greater students. So, Morehouse will invest in our faculty, teaching and mentoring, research, giving them the resources not only to continue to teach at the highest levels of any academic institution in the country, but also to do the research and inquiry to answer the important social questions, societal questions, the challenges and opportunities that face our global community in the 21st century, as we did in the 20th century. Within the next 5 years, our eminent faculty will undergo a transformation of its own, as 30% of Morehouse faculty will reach retirement age. These talented scholars must be replaced by the next generation of academic leaders who are committed to Morehouse values and culture. New scholars will continue to uphold the rigor and transformational teachings that develop men of Morehouse, while bringing in new perspectives as we forge toward a global future. Pillar 3, we must create the campus of the future. We cannot maximize our ability to develop leaders for the 21st century on a 20th century campus. And so we must focus on creating the living and learning environment that Morehouse scholars deserve, that is as exceptional as they are, where they can leverage their talents, an environment that supports one of the favorite sayings that I love about Morehouse College, which is iron sharpens iron, which is about creating an environment that, without force, simply encourages and facilitates these young men coming into connection with each other and with their committed faculty and staff, not just in the classroom, but beyond the classroom, and in ways that connect them to the world. And so we have to focus on the design of our campus, its physical presence, the interactions that it encourages. We also must focus on the infrastructure. And in today's world, a key part of that infrastructure is technology. We must have a first-class technology infrastructure to support all the ways in which we not only want to educate our students, but that Morehouse must fulfill its place in the world, to go beyond the borders of our campus. We are finally focused on the fourth pillar, no less important. It is about developing support for the centers of excellence here at the college. As the national epicenter for thought leadership on social justice, and through our excellence, We are tackling critical challenges and opportunities that face our world and that require disciplined intellectual inquiry by those committed not simply to a political ideology or view, but committed to bringing forth the truth about our world so that our leaders are well informed, so that our students, not just at Morehouse but beyond, are well educated about the realities that they face. We're ensuring that our students have access to co-curricular and experiential learning in the classroom. Ultimately, men of Morehouse are expected to be well-rounded and unequivocally prepared to carry the torch and honor and the honor bestowed upon Morehouse men. And so to do that, we must ask for the support that we need for those centers of excellence that define Morehouse College. In closing, I want to say that together, we are custodians of one of the world's most important higher education institutions. Indeed, I think it is not arrogant for us to say to ourselves that Morehouse is a national and global treasure. Together, we can ensure that Morehouse College continues to graduate stellar men of consequence who go on to do transformational work that not only serves themselves and their families, but that serves their communities and the world. Now, the work begins. We must start here by admitting to ourselves that the work will not be easy. The work will not be easy, but that we believe. We believe, and so our appeal will be broad. It will include asking our alumni to rise to a new level of support, asking them not only have they fulfilled the obligation to the world that Morehouse instilled in them, but to ask them to rise to the level of gratitude that they think they owe Morehouse College for preparing them to go do that important work in the world. We've been great with our alumni over the last 155 years at teaching obligation. We may have been less great at teaching gratitude. You are where you are in the world because of Morehouse. And so we will ask our alumni to express that gratitude, to increase their giving and their commitment. We will also reach out to the long-term friends of Morehouse College, many of whom are not graduates or alumni. They are parents. They are the corporations and the foundations that have supported us, some for more than 100 years. We will also go beyond the current Morehouse circle to reach out to those in our world who can understand the unique value that Morehouse presents, what Morehouse represents for the world, and who understand that to create the world that we aspire to, the world needs Morehouse. For those there who have committed, that they want to invest in those aspects of our society, those activities that will address issues of access, issues of the racial wealth gap, issues related to the kind of educated workforce that this nation will need to stay competitive, that the world will need. We will reach out to them to ask for their support. The only criteria will be that they be entities and individuals that embrace the values and the mission and the focus of Morehouse College. So with that, I want to close my opening remarks and offer the opportunity for there to be questions. So thank you for being here for these opening remarks and the launch of this historic campaign. We will entertain questions if there are any in the audience or that may have come through from any of our social media channels. Hearing no questions, let the work begin. Thank you for joining us. We've concluded. Thank you.
I'm leaving Abidjan to take a straight flight from Ivory Coast to Paris and from Paris to Atlanta. When you leave your city to go to a different city within the country, it's a different feeling, right? When you leave your country to go to a different country within the same continent, it's a different feeling. But when you leave your continent to go to a different continent, it's a different feeling. When I graduated from Ivory Coast, I moved to South Africa. And I went to a school called the African Leadership Academy. I left the African Leadership Academy to attend the African American Leadership Academy, which is Morehouse. I can't even describe or explain how I was feeling because I was on a mission. I really felt like I had a commitment to everyone I left back home. I had a commitment to my community, to my parents, and I had a responsibility to do something where I was going. My success is the success of my community. My failure is the failure of the community. I just can't believe that it's happening now and this is the first step. And the journey is just starting now.
My name is Daxton Pettis.
My name is Reginald Timothy Pettis.
My name is Terrence Miles.
My name is Paul Fuller.
I graduated from Morehouse in 1992.
I'm a graduate of the class of 1992.
I graduated from Morehouse in 1991.
I came into Morehouse fall of 2021. Personally, I felt like I was already a part of the Morehouse family. I am blessed to not only have one Morehouse man to look up to, but three. My uncle Terry, my uncle Paul, and my dad. Being a part of that Morehouse family, I felt already indoctrinated into the school. I've talked about leadership and had conversations about development far before I came into high school.
Morehouse is important because there's no place on earth where you can group black men together, get educated, and then send leaders out into the world.
All of my best friends are Morehouse brothers. So we all stayed very close. Some of my business associates are Morehouse brothers. And then I give back to Morehouse financially. I support Morehouse every year.
I really believe we can elevate the goals really high and help this school achieve those goals, if not exceed those goals.
I have recognized that the people around me aspire to be great, and have the potential to be great. And Morehouse is the school that's refining them to do what they want to do. People should invest in Morehouse because there's no other place that you can receive this type of education. I am the son of Tim Pettis. I am the nephew of Paul Fuller. I am the godson of Terry Miles. Morehouse is the only place in the world that you can get this experience of black men coming together to be educated and to go on and become leaders.
The name of our capital campaign is Making Men of Consequence. We've translated that into 4 pillars. First, rising men of Morehouse, bringing Morehouse to the point that we can be a need-blind institution, that we can make Morehouse a place where no young man decides not to attend Morehouse, who we admit and who believes that this is the perfect place for them to be at this point in their development.
So Morehouse College has this tremendous reputation that we all know, and I knew that reputation growing up. I have the opportunity, by being here, of watching a student develop over 4 years, coming in unsure of themselves or maybe underprepared, maybe totally prepared, but still transformed by an experience that opens the world to them.
The reason that I decided to come back to Morehouse College was really the result of me being in a postdoctoral experience. It really looked like it was going to be a choice between going to Yale to teach and to be a professor, to Columbia University, or to UCLA. Those were the 3 tracks that this experience would have led me in.
There aren't very many places you can go where people look at you and they see the best you can be, and they know you have the potential to get there. You just need the door opened a little bit so that you can step through.
I decided to really go out the box in terms of how it is that a lot of other people anticipated that my career would go. And I appreciated the opportunity to be able to pour into this institution a modicum of what was poured into me as a student at the time that I was here.
One of the reasons that I've stayed at Morehouse for so long is because I believe that the institution is truly transformative in its impact.
As I think about Morehouse's longstanding commitments to service and also to leadership, I think about the efforts that our faculty make and our staff make. The work that our folks are doing in the sciences, they're bringing in a number of federal grants to provide opportunities for our students to be able to learn and to be able to experience the equipment necessary to learn basic science that then set the groundwork for innovations and for discoveries that come later. I honestly believe with the appropriate support, we can do even more.
The second pillar is inquiry with distinction. We need to be able to support the best faculty that we can find who are committed to the dual missions of Morehouse College, to educate men with disciplined minds who will lead lives of leadership and service, and to produce knowledge that advances social justice and inquiry into those matters that influence communities of color and the Black community in particular.
One of the first monuments that I see is the MLK statue. Before coming to Morehouse, before replying, I read a lot about MLK, his journey and his impact. And not only was I in love with what he's achieved as a leader, but coming to a school where he's been to and being on the same ground and seeing his statue, sharing the same birthday, really made me feel special. Special because I was given a chance to dream differently, to dream bigger. Looking at that statue and looking at the space around me, I just feel blessed and ready to start to embark on this new journey.
We are focused on renewing the campus infrastructure and the physical embodiment of our campus. We need a campus that has all of the components that a 21st century campus needs.
Getting to what I call the campus of the future. If you close your eyes, I do this thing about closing my eyes and imagine a world where we have a 24-hour student center, where we have a campus that can do remarkable things around tutoring for our students and having facilities for our students can study at a very high level and do scientific study at a high level. Incubators so our business students can learn from business leaders from Google and Facebook, et cetera, throughout the country.
We have state-of-the-art buildings. We take care of the buildings we got and renovate them, upgrade them. We have state-of-the-art sports facilities for not just our athletic teams, but just for kids to stay physically fit. The other thing I really see in the future is that we have a very strong mental health support system for our students with counseling.
We need to have different spaces, learning spaces on campus that don't necessarily match what we've had in the past and provide opportunities for learning in new ways that leverage where we are now, where we are meant to go in the future.
In particular, we're focused on increasing our technology infrastructure, creating a new student center and a center for Black entrepreneurship and innovation here on our campus. And at the heart of Morehouse in our residential program is our living and learning community. And so we need the campus of the future.
That campus of the future that we need to provide for our students is well needed today, more so than any time in our history. Now, if you stop to think about that, think about what we've been able to produce over the last 154 years. If we're able to solve that, can you imagine a world of what we can produce when we're able to provide a campus of the future?
My name is Randall Woodfin. I am a proud Morehouse College graduate, class of 2003. I serve as mayor of the city of Birmingham, Alabama.
I'm Dr. Louis W. Sullivan, MD, class of 54.
Of all the influences I've had in life, from family to friends to my community to church, Morehouse has had an outsized influence on me on understanding what servant leadership really is.
First of all, Morehouse College was a tremendous learning environment and a great culture to be immersed in at that time.
Everything about decisions I made was all geared towards giving back to my community, but giving back from a leadership standpoint.
Morehouse College enriches the academic life of the country, the business environment that our businesses operate in. By having a more educated population, we have a more productive population.
Morehouse College is a training ground for Black men to be leaders, to serve their community, to be risk takers and become entrepreneurs.
Our fourth pillar is supporting centers of excellence. Morehouse is looking into the future. We're asking the question, where do we think that we have unique talents, assets, insights, and what are the important questions that need to be asked in order to create a world that exemplifies the values that we've been promoting for the last 154 years.
We don't take, we give. That's what Morehouse teaches us.
Dr. Mays would have an expression that went something like this: whatever you choose to do in your life, you should do it so well that no man living, no man dead, and no man yet to be could do it better. If you commit yourself to that level of excellence, when they're looking for someone in your field, they will have to consider you. Now, you may not get the job, but it should not be because you're not prepared.
Commencement is really the start of the next step. The next step after Morehouse. It's the beginning of a new journey. It gives me hope about the future, building a legacy of leadership, of impact. What can a Morehouse man do outside of Morehouse after 4 years of being in a community of young black men and thought leaders. It's not about me, it's about the whole class, it's about everybody else who is committed to the mission. It really gives me hope for change. It really gives me hope for better tomorrow.